Hi, I'm Phyllis from the Doll Corner, and welcome to my channel. And I had a few little gifts that I wasn't just sure how I was going to wrap, and going out looking for little boxes and things at this time is probably not the best thing to be doing. So I thought I'd make a little bag for them. And it slips in there quite nice and fits nice. Now you can make them any size you want. Say you wanted to give a pan, you'd only make it narrow. Or if you wanted an envelope, say you had some cash you were giving for a little extra, you could put it in an envelope and put it in there. It's just a little something extra. Anyway, I'll show you how I make them. They're quite easy to do. Depending on the thickness of your fabric, I've got my outside fabric, and I put some interfacing on the back. And this is my lining, and I have some interfacing on that as well. That catches everything, this interface. So then when I get my interfacing on here, I put my hook and loop tape about 1 inch from this edge, top edge. And then I put my lining on like that. But I forgot to tell you, say you can make it any size you want. You just take whatever you want to put in it and set it up about like that, say, and then bring this up. And then this goes down. So whatever measurement you would like, then you just see that I've got this for this envelope. So that I would measure the distance I would like, the width. So it doesn't matter what size you make it. Just make sure you have it comes up about, pretty much covers it. And then this enough so that you've got a flap. The flap could be shorter. I have to trim this off a little bit yet, but so that's how you get the measurement. So you've got you cut 4 pieces, one for the front of it, the one for the lining, and 2 pieces of interfacing. But if your fabric is not very thick, your fabric is thick, then you really don't need it. But try and remember to put this piece on first, because if you don't, you'll have to sew it on through here, and then your sewing will show on the front of the. And then what I do is I start down here, and what I do is I sew down here, and then now I'll show you why I come in like this and sew it for my opening, and then all the way around, and then down, and then here again. And then I turn it. And this is my opening. Where I have sewn down here and here, that makes this piece of fabric that wants to stick out. Usually when you just end the sewing here, it'll want to stick up. It folds in. So you're ready to top stitch. And then you see I will sew the other piece of loop tape on here, Oh, and make sure you sew across here before you sew the sides up. Because if you don't, you'll be hand stitching it along here. And then you just top stitch all the way around, it up and around, and then fold it over, and you got your bit. That's not going. And then when it's all sewn up, it's like this. I've got my hook and loop here and there. Tuck it in. And this one my flower matched. Now what's the chance of that happening? Now I could have put a buttonhole and a button on here. I could put a snap on here. There's just, different ways of closing it. But I find the hook and loop tape works pretty well. Then the little bow on there is good. So I don't have a button handy. If you were, well, there's a tiny little bow. That's too tiny. There's a couple of little hearts. There's just so many things you could do with fixing that up. So, but you could make it, say you wanted to give a pen, you just make a little bag. And you wouldn't make it as big as this. Or a parcel like this, you could go in. Just and a pair of scissors. Anything that's an odd shape that you're having trouble wrapping, this works well. If you can't find a box, you can make these up in a few minutes. So if you found this helpful, give me a thumbs up. Be sure and subscribe, share, leave a comment, and thanks for watching. Bye now.